Well, I'm making a fish. Why am I making a fish when I've got things to do? Because I can. This is very weird cardboard. Very weird cardboard indeed. Okay, let's make another one like that going that way. Kind of works. The mouth can go down there like that. Perfect. This is a perfect fish. Where's my glue? My Elmer's glue ball. Come on, glue. It's like the ketchup bottle. This is really going to hamper my production of this is the best that this is going to do here. I wonder where I put the glue my neighbors gave me. I think this glue is Kaputnik. I think this glue is defunct. I think this glue is bad. Bad glue. It's like it froze and then re-thawed and then was ignored for 10 years. Hey Friedrich, how are you? How's Parker? It's not that I don't care about you, Friedrich, but Parker's the one that has sort of gone missing in action, and I don't want that to happen, either figurative, of course, or literally. But he used to be such a staple, you know. I think this fish is going to have this kind of tail stuff going on here. Subtle. So yesterday, we worked our little butts off getting the house cleaned. And today, we're going to, what was left of him, what was left of us yesterday is left of the cabin. We have to rework today. And yesterday was funny. I had suggested to my brothers and sister-in-law that we invite our cousin and her husband out. to the lake for dinner. No, they shrieked. No. And I said, but, no. We don't have time. We don't have time. They repeated slower, so I understood every word. So any time during the rest of the day yesterday when they started, goddamn glue. Let me see if I can find the glue that I used before. No, it's an even give and take. As long as the result allows him to walk without tripping over debris, I think he's okay. I'm rearranging pictures. Rewiring lights, moving things around, giving it kind of a fresh look. And every time I come up here, I think, oh, it's just the lake. You know, I don't participate so much on the lake stuff. I don't water ski, I don't swim, I do sail, but my brothers sail and I just am the ballast these days. But yesterday, when we should have been working our butts off, no, we went on a boat ride, no, and like a 3-hour boat ride, 2 anyway, involving alcohol and other such things. And so that crossed the rest of that day off. We came back and ate and all crashed. And the first thing on my list today that I did after zapping coffee, yesterday's coffee, was I cleaned up the dog poop that was all over the living room because my brother and his wife, the owners of said dog, didn't bother to wake up. Well, yeah, I think what we have here, with the exception of 3 tables, plus lots of pictures and photo albums and stuff like that, are there's 3 tables that's, I believe, well, 3 tables that were part of my grandmother's living room, and they would look great up here, I think, but finding room for them would require a negotiating thing that I don't know whether I have the stamina for. I don't think they'd bring a lot of money, and I will fight for them to be here, but they're octagonal tables, end tables that would have gone on either side of a couch, and then one was slightly smaller that I think was in front of the couch, if I remember correctly, my grandmother's house. And the 2 side tables are exactly the height you would sit if you were eating dinner or filling out a crossword or doing something while you're sitting in front of the couch. it's exactly the right height for that. And it seems to me that these days, when we do have people over for dinner, there's only 6 that can sit at this table. So there has to be, oh yes, that's Lutheran. Those damn Lutherans. I think I dreamt about you last night, Friedrich. It was a very weird dream. I fall asleep listening to mainly YouTube things, and I fell asleep and it went into the next YouTube thing on the list, which was Brian Greene and 2 or 3 other scientists talking about black holes. And it provided to me the dialogue in my dream. I was sound asleep, dreaming about this horrible librarian, and it involved circumcision, and she was a murderous librarian, and could have been an alien. And there was a very cute guy who wore a skirt some of the time that turned out he was living next door to me. And anyway, it was just this crazy surrealistic dream that the text was mainly provided by the black hole panel discussion. But it also involved Rob Morrison and a pen show. And I think that's where you came in. So I'm dreaming about you. There were lots of pens, I remember. Okay, now the thing that inspired me about this particular box, Seagram's, was this S. And I thought I could take this S and turn it into both an eye and a mouth. See if this works. I think I have to cut you off. That kind of works. That's the front of the fish is this way. I think I have to make the eye a little smaller. Make the mouth a little bit more obvious. I shouldn't have done that. I made a mistake. So I'm going to have to do plan 2 here. Plan 2 from outer space. He has a little turned up nose, this little fish. This S is becoming almost unrecognizable. I didn't mean to make it quite so. I guess I have to do that. Let's turn this down. Yes, the snob. So are you still planning, do you think, on coming to the Boston show? You sure am. Good. Good. Good, good, good. Well, this is a very funny looking fish. They all are. They all are up here. You missed the pen people, you mean? Have you been at all paying attention to David Isaacson and his American pen picker? It's like, can you come up with something original? He and Paul Areno and someone else are riding in a van across country picking up all these pen collections. Hello, dear.
Good morning.
Guess what kitty pooped all over the carpet today?
Uh-oh. Where?
Well, I cleaned it up as
Oh.
best I could.
It was loose?
Well, there was 3 little piles.
Oh. Probably him.
Yeah.
Our door was closed and we didn't looking for his leash. I didn't take him out last night because we passed out.
I know. But the first thing on my thing that I crossed out is kitty poop.
Sorry.
Hey, kitty poop. Kitty poop. No!
No! They're coming, Pep. I wish kind of. Did you pass out?
No.
Todd pass out?
He went to bed. The word pass out is perhaps exaggerated in some cases, but it wasn't in yours. I saw you were. I'm sure that if there's 3 people in this van making these deals, I have a feeling that they might be more less likely to just rape and pillage. I think they would be, because there's 3 reputations. That are under the microscope. And I'm sure most widows or children have been bored to tears by their recently departed about every pen they have and what it was worth. Unless, of course, the dead person said how little they paid for them. Oh, I got this one for $10, and didn't bother to say that it was worth $1,000. So when it comes time to sell them, my dad paid $10, but that was a long time ago. So how about $5? It's the pens that I've been seeing people post things, recent finds, today's finds. They just want to punch them in the face. I wouldn't punch them in the face if they showed how they wrote. But the fact that they don't even do that make me think these pens will never, ever, ever have ink in them. So it's sad. But anyway, they've been finding rather nice stuff. And I'm sure they have in auction, in flea markets, now that they're opening, you'll find all sorts of interesting stuff. And maybe really, really cheap, because people are hurting, they need the money, and they don't need grandpa's dead stuff. 2 down. Let's see if I can make another fish. This I thought would make a nice body. Which way is it going to go? This way, I think. Striped body. When will they learn? When will they learn that they're missing out? On the most important aspect of this, do you think? Will they ever learn? I'm going to make this the mouth. Well, I am so absolutely, positively broke. I was thinking of Schiavello the other day, because I have some art that he might like at his ranch. No, it's probably not his taste. Never mind. I think this is going to have to be dark blue. Dark blue fins. With white trim. Well, I have in Minneapolis, actually there's a painting here that I did that I will post once it's hung. I had to cut about 5 inches off of it to fit. It was 11 feet, 8.5 inches tall, and the cabin ceiling is 11 feet. In that part of the house is 11 feet, 7.5 inches, so it was an inch too tall. And so I chopped off about 5 inches where it made sense to do so. And it is a painting I did in college representing one of the windows, one of the mirrors in Versailles Hall of Mirrors, and it's reflecting 2.5 or 2 of the doors of the windows, facing the gardens. And it's done in colors that match this house perfectly, I think. Greens and blues. I'll show you in a minute. You would have liked that, but you're Mr. World War I, Mr. History. I do have other large paintings I did of paint tubes. I did a series of paint tube and paint sets when I was in college. And so you'd probably like those a little bit, not as much as the other thing, though. So it's going to go like that. It's going to just go like that. I think it'll go like that. I'll show it to you right now. Actually, let me describe something that's really kind of fun. When we were moving things here I opened up a drawer of sketches that I had done to pick a few and then throw the rest away, and I ended up thinking, oh, I don't want to throw this out. Paper doesn't take up that much room. So I started making a stack of drawings I did, drawings, sketchbooks my father did, and this is like a helicopter. Reminds me of helicopters. Okay, so let me show you. Anyway, there was a drawing my father did when he was 14 or 16? 16, I think. And I think he did it for maybe for a school assignment, or maybe he did it just to do it. And he made a faux ad for a department store in Minneapolis called Powers. Could have also been when he was in college. There's a pencil thing that says 1942. He was born in 1928. I'm trying to become erect here. No, not that kind of erect. I'm trying to stand up straight. So here's the top part of the window. There is the middle part. There's the bottom part. Anyway, here's this ad my father drew. Charm your home with furniture from Powers. So there's a chair and a desk and a desk set, desk pen, and a lamp. And what do you know? Here's that self-same chair. Here is the desk. And here is that lamp with the little rivets on it. And the lampshade might be different. The lampshade looks like it had... No, it might be the lampshade. So these pieces were, yeah, it's a riveted copper lamp. While I'm here, let's see. This was my childhood bedroom. Here's drowning victims. That's a drawing I did when I was in high school. Painting I did. It's a stereo that I had when I was in grad school. I'm looking in these drawers to see if I can find some glue. So this is the room that will have the boat motif. This also has the books. Move these books. The bookshelf used to be where the Versailles window will be. This is my little brother's room, which we later turned into, after Troy, my little brother, got married, I guess they still slept here, Sue and Troy, but they had bunk beds. This is a collage my father made. My mother's grandfather ran a jewelry store and a watch repair business. So these are all. The only thing that didn't come from the attic in my mother's parents' house was this peacock feather. It's a painting my mother's father did. Here's a collage my mom made about my dad's family. In here, this is the room I decorated. It's called the Talons. If you were sleeping in this room, Friedrich tried to sleep. You looked up, you'd see that. So good luck, sweet dreams. Anyway, Talons is from also these paintings of birds. My father did the 3 paintings here. 1, 2, 3. This is called the Cockfight. And just so you sleep really, really well, you saw wood. Is that the frame for snoring? We've got some big lumber saws here just to remind you that your body will be torn to bits. I'm going to add these ceramic bugs my dad made to this room as well, because this is sort of the creepy room. Okay, let me come downstairs again. My room, the 3 sons each have now the biggest rooms in the house, and the guest rooms are the rooms we had when we were kids. And mine is the nicest room in the house. Troy and Sue took the master bedroom, which is nice too. It has a deck and a separate bathroom. But I have the one that walks out onto the lake and has all these big windows. And this was my grandmother. My brothers wanted to throw the chairs out, and I said, no, we're not going to, or sell them. I said, no, that was grandma's chair. So got that chair. This is something my father painted, a skull that he painted, so I'm going to put that there. I've already added fish drawings. The bathroom. What's nice about the cabin is everyone has their own little thing they did. This little, here's fish, that's my dad and my mom. This used to have, I mean, it still does have, obviously, this wallpaper thing my mother cut out and pasted up there. And when the toilet had to be replaced, it was connected to the wall, and the wall had to come down. And we didn't have any more of this little ticker, this stuff up here. So my father decided to do this. He painted a lion, that's a mask of a lion, a 3-dimensional tiger, whatever it is, leopard. And he painted these things, and then my favorite part is how he continued this stuff, and he added painted his own little balls there, and I love the little addition of the nails that he painted orange. It's another painting of his. This is hiding behind the dental thing because there's lots of holes in that wall for some reason. Big fucking holes. Oh, Here's a copper fireplace hood. That was part of my father's store at one point. So here's the lake. You can see the lake. My father loves trees, so a lot of the trees were here, and some of them he planted. And there we go. There's the lake. It's 9 miles by 3. It's probably a mile and a half from here to the shore across from us. When this house was originally built, my father, the most important part of the house was the aquarium he wanted to put here. So this window was a big 4 feet deep, 4.5 feet tall aquarium, which never functioned well because the water would just bake. The fish poached in there. And then they'd try to get out and they'd jump off the top, out of the top, and then we'd find them fried. They were either poached in the water or fried on the deck outside the water. And then my father had the water continually pumping in, and he had it dribbling over the side beautifully. And it was supposed to dribble out, but instead it dribbled under the house. So the house is sort of listing toward the port here, toward the bow, I guess. The lake is 80 feet deep at its most deep part. There are sort of large sections of the lake that are pretty shallow. In fact, there's right between us and the far shore is a shallow area that you, if I'm sailing, the sideboards or the keel might hit. A powerboat is fine, but it's maybe 5 feet deep. So it's kind of a nice place if you remember where it is, to drop an anchor and just swim and play. So anyway, yes, the house is fine. Up here we are again pulling some of the things from Minneapolis that we want to keep, and we're continuing to make sure that the fingerprints of everyone that's involved in this place are still here and added. Certainly my parents had the biggest fingerprints. And then I think Todd and I provided some more sort of artistic fingerprints where Troy functions on the functionality of the place. So a lot of the traffic flow and utility elements are under his control. No, the lake is not stocked for fishing. It does not have that many fish in it, unfortunately, and um, it does have zebra mussels, which have depleted. They eat something that algae, or I don't know what they do, that kills a lot of the uh, ecosystem that makes fish happy. Um, maybe takes the oxygen out of the water. I honestly don't know what they do. But the water is very clear. It's clearer than it's ever been because of the fact that there's no little green algae. So the lake is in many ways a lot deader with the humans are dead too. They used to have a lot of, when I was a kid, there were a lot of kids my age on the lake, and they would water ski and swim and they would sail, and a lot of that stuff doesn't happen anymore. People, they don't fish so much anymore either. There used to be a lot of fishermen that would be out in the mornings trying to catch fish, and they would catch fish, but now they don't. Okay, well,
Beg your pardon, I fly RC airplanes.
and Troy flies RC airplanes. Do you see what I've done already? How many things I've crossed off my list?
No, because it's such a pile of, oh, you have a list.
I do have a list.
You had your own list.
And the first one was clean kitty poop, because your cat pooped all over the floor here today because someone was passed out. Huh. 3 little piles of poop. Say hi to Friedrich.
Hang on. Friedrich, hello. You got to clean your optics up here. They're kind of fuzzy.
It's the Vaseline. Makes
There we
everyone look younger. Okay, now that people are up, I can start hammering away. I've already rewired a fan and moved lamps around. And what?
I guess.
No, do you have to take your dump first?
No, I'm just going to have my breakfast first.
My brother watches the news, he has his coffee, he has his first breakfast, then he takes his dump, and then he can think. Pier's list still includes Saturday poop, which has yet to happen. And if you look at your calendar, it's Sunday already. So I'm a day behind and $1 short. So I'm going to sign off now and try to nail some things up. I'll post the pictures of the Versailles mirror once it's done. Bye.